On August 29, 2005, Hurricane Katrina slammed into the Gulf Coast and caused an estimated $100 billion in damage. It's estimated that approximately $35 billion of that damage is insured. Some things can never be replaced, but understanding your rights and responsibilities under the insurance policies covering your home or your business will help you recover the money you'll need to rebuild your life. In this video, we'll go over what you as homeowners and small business owners need to have and to do to prepare your insurance claims. We'll also cover things you can do to better prepare yourself in case of future disasters. These are practical and general pointers and not intended to provide legal advice. If you need help with a specific legal question, please consult a lawyer. Hi John, I'm Ted. I'm here to walk you through your home so we can go over the kind of insurance coverage you have so we can get you back on your feet.
Well, thank you for coming. As you can see, I'm going to need a lot of help. I don't know where to begin.
Okay, first things first. Do you have a copy of your homeowner's insurance policy?
No, I haven't been able to find it.
Do you know the name of your insurer?
I think so.
You can call your insurer and request a copy of your policy. Your name and the address of the insured property should be enough to help the insurer locate your policy. If you can't remember who your insurer is, try calling your mortgage lender, who will have your insurer's information on file. Once you've contacted your insurer, let them know that your house has been damaged. Follow up with a letter so that you have a record that you notified them of the loss. They'll want to send an adjuster out to take a look, so make sure you provide them with information so they can contact you.
Well, I'm not really sure where I'll be staying after next month.
That's a good point. If at any time you need to move to a new location or if you have a new phone number, make sure you keep your insurer in the loop so they'll know how to contact you. Contact your insurer and request a copy of your policy right away. The time limit for filing your claim will differ depending on your state and your insurer, but usually you'll have up to 1 year to file an insurance claim. Check your policy carefully to be sure you don't miss any deadlines. No matter what, it's a good idea to file it as soon as you can. The sooner you file the claim, the sooner the money you are owed can be paid to you. At a minimum, you should notify your insurer that your house was damaged in writing, if at all possible, and arrange to have an adjuster come out and take a look.
What happens if the deadline is soon and I need more time?
If you need more time, be sure to contact your insurer. They may be willing to grant you an extension, given the extreme circumstances. If they do allow you an extension, make sure you get that agreement from them in writing. This is very important. If you reach an agreement with someone, always get that agreement in writing. A letter will do it. Anytime you talk to anyone about your property, whether it is your insurer, any contractors, or building inspectors, be sure you write it down. Keep a record of the name and the title of any person you speak to, who that person is employed by, the date and time, and even the length of the phone call or meeting, and a summary of what was discussed or agreed to. This will help you in the event there's a disagreement down the road. When you do get a replacement copy of your insurance policy, you should keep it in a safe deposit box along with other important papers, including receipts and photos of some of your more expensive belongings, in order to make future insurance claims easier to document. Some banks offer a free safety deposit box if you maintain a minimum balance in your account. You should check with your bank to see if they offer this benefit. If the bank charges a fee and you can't afford a safety deposit box, you should at least get a waterproof box to store important documents in. That way, if you can't take them with you in the event of another emergency, you will at least have a better chance of locating your important papers afterwards.
That's a good idea.
Even though you don't have a copy of your policy, let's go ahead and walk through your house and we can talk about the things that are generally covered under the standard homeowner's insurance policy and how to go about making a claim.
This is my favorite tree, which is now gone. Will the insurance company pay to replace this?
No. Typically, your policy doesn't cover trees or any landscaping in your yard that was damaged by the hurricane. If the tree had fallen onto your house, your policy might pay to remove it, as well as other debris left on your property by the storm. And of course, to cover the damage to your house caused by the tree, but your policy won't pay to replace the tree itself.
What about my car?
Your homeowner's insurance policy doesn't cover your car. However, any property that was lost or stolen or damaged inside your car will likely be covered. You should contact your automobile insurance company to make a claim for any hurricane-related damage to the car itself. If you purchased comprehensive insurance for your car, and not all drivers do, your car should be covered for flood damage. If the damage to your car is the result of vandalism, flying debris, or other similar occurrences, comprehensive automobile insurance will cover this as well. If, however, you purchased only liability auto insurance, which would cover you against liability in the event of a car accident, you would not be covered for physical damage to the car caused by flood, vandalism, or flying debris.
Okay, so if I have insurance on my house, the insurance company will fix or rebuild my house, right?
Assuming that the damage we're looking at is covered by insurance, then the insurance company will pay for your home to either be repaired or rebuilt. But keep in mind that your typical homeowner's insurance policies won't cover damage caused by flooding, which we've seen quite a bit of in the Gulf Coast region. Generally, you'd need to purchase a separate flood insurance policy in order to be sure that your house and belongings are covered against flood damage. To more fully protect yourself in the event of future disasters like this, you can talk to your insurance agent about adding flood coverage to your current policy or take advantage of the National Flood Insurance Program, which is offered by the federal government. The number of the National Flood Insurance Program is listed here if you want to get coverage for a new or rebuilt home.
I don't think I have separate flood insurance right now. Does that mean I can't get any payment for flood damage?
You might be eligible for federal disaster assistance if your house is in a federal declared disaster area. You can check with the Federal Emergency Management Agency, better known as FEMA, to find out whether or not your house is covered and to learn the steps you need to take to apply for disaster assistance. The number for FEMA is on this handout. Also, keep in mind that your policy probably covers wind damage, which is a big part of the damage to your house. For example, this damage to your roof was almost certainly caused by the high winds that accompany a hurricane. The shattered windows are also the result of wind. Because this damage was caused by wind, further damage to your house from rainwater coming in through the hole in your roof, wall, or storm-damaged windows or doors should be covered. The point is, you shouldn't assume that all water damage is the result of flooding and won't be covered. For example, in a city like New Orleans that depends heavily on levees, water damage can be the result of a levee breach. Damage from a levee breach might be covered even if your policy says that damage from rising floodwaters is not. Keep this in mind when your adjuster evaluates the damage to your home. Because the coverage for your damage will depend heavily on what caused it, you'll want to understand how your insurance adjuster categorizes the damage. You have the right to raise questions if you don't agree with or don't understand the basis for the insurance adjuster's conclusions. Until you get a chance to meet with your insurance adjuster, it's a good idea to create a record of the damage to your home by taking pictures as soon after the damage as possible. This is especially important if you need to make temporary repairs to prevent further damage to your home. With damage this extensive, it might not be necessary or advisable to spend money on temporary repairs. While money you spend might be reimbursed by your insurer, keep in mind that it will come out of your total insurance payout, which will leave you less money for rebuilding or repairing your home. But if there isn't a lot of water damage in the house, you might want to patch up or put a tarp over any holes in your roof or windows to keep additional water from coming in and causing even more damage. Or if you see that a tree is hanging precariously over your house, it might be a good idea to get someone to remove the tree so it doesn't fall onto your house and cause more damage to your property or even hurt someone. Most insurance policies require you to take steps to mitigate or prevent more damage to your property. Since you can seek reimbursement for taking those steps, make sure you get and keep receipts for any money you spend on repairs made to prevent further damage. But before you do any of that, you'll first need to make a detailed record of the damage that was caused by the hurricane. Let's go inside.
I mean, look at all this stuff. My TV, my couch, my books. Will any of this be covered?
Yes, your homeowner's policies cover structural damage to your home, appliances, furniture, clothing, and anything else up to the limit of your policy. If you had particularly valuable possessions such as jewelry, silverware, or art, there will be limits on the amount you can recover unless you purchased additional coverage specifically for those items. In any case, you'll have more success with your claim if you can provide your insurance adjuster with receipts and/or detailed inventory of possessions that were lost or damaged in the hurricane. You'll want to be able to tell the adjuster what items were lost or damaged and how much each item cost and/or how much it would cost to replace each item and when each item was purchased. Don't dispose of items that are damaged until after an adjuster has come out and inspected what you have. If you must clean up, for example, to avoid further damage like rot or mold, at least take clear pictures so you can show them to the adjuster.
What's all this stuff?
It may be mold, and if it is, you should know that most homeowners' insurance policies don't cover mold damage. What's important to understand is that many homeowners' policies today state that they won't cover damage caused in part by flood or mold, even if the damage was also due to wind, which is covered. In other words, if the damage was caused by a combination of factors, some covered and some not covered, the insurer might argue that none of the damage will be covered. So the damage to your carpet, which was damaged by both flooding waters and water coming in through your wind-damaged roof, might not be covered. However, any damage that was caused exclusively by wind or wind-driven rain, like your roof or the parts of your house above the flood line, is likely to remain covered. Since you've got a lot of water-related damage here, you may have an adjuster tell you that you have no coverage at all because the damage was flood-related. It will be up to you to challenge the adjuster's conclusions if you believe the real damage was caused by wind, rain, or some other cause that's covered under the homeowner's insurance policies. For more assistance, you may want to consult with a lawyer.
Obviously, my family and I can't live here. I mean, what can we do? Will the insurance company pay for us to live elsewhere while our house is being repaired?
If the damage to your house is covered, then yes. Your homeowner's policy should include additional living expense coverage that will reimburse your family's temporary living expenses until you can return to your house. Typically, this will amount to 10 to 20% of the insured value of your home. So, for example, if your house was insured for $100,000, you could be entitled to $10,000 in additional living expenses. Make sure you keep receipts for your temporary housing costs, the amount you spend for food, any increased transportation expenses, furniture rental, or storage fees. These receipts will help you with your insurance claim. You may be able to claim reimbursement for lost rental income if you had been renting out a portion of your home. When you get your insurance policy, you should read it to see whether you're covered for these types of expenses. Don't forget to contact FEMA and other relief agencies as well. Other assistance may be available.
Does my insurance policy cover my renter's belongings?
No. It only covers the damage to your structure of your house and your possessions. Any property belonging to your renter would have to be covered by renter's insurance. If your renter didn't purchase such insurance, he or she may be out of luck.
Oh, so my friends who rent might not have coverage for the things they've lost.
If they didn't purchase their own renter's insurance policy, that's right. Their landlord's insurance policy will only cover damage to the apartment building itself and any fixtures that belong to the landlord, and not the tenants.
What about my friends who have condominiums?
Like your homeowner's policy, their condo insurance should cover losses to their possessions as long as it was caused by wind, rain, or some other cause that's covered under their policy. Whether the fixtures inside their condo units are covered depends on how their condo contract is written, i.e., who owns and is responsible for the fixtures. The same goes for common areas. The responsibility for common areas might fall to all of the condo owners jointly. Your friends should look at their insurance policies and their condo agreements to find out more and consult a lawyer if they have questions.
I just had this back porch built and it's gone. Can I get money to replace it?
If the damage to the porch was wind-related, then you should be covered. However, if you don't contact your insurance company to raise your policy limits after the porch was built, you might not have enough coverage to rebuild your house and any improvements you've made. Whenever you make improvements to your property, you should take a look at your coverage to see if you have enough to cover everything, including improvements.
One of my cousins was offered a cash payout just for signing a piece of paper. Should I do that? I do need the money right away.
Don't sign anything until you've had a chance to read it thoroughly and very carefully. Ideally, you should have a lawyer review any documents before you sign so that you understand exactly what you're being asked to give up. If you cannot afford a lawyer, you may qualify for free legal services from your local legal aid society. Here's a list of local legal aid societies that may be able to help you. Remember, no one is going to give you cash for nothing. You may be unknowingly signing away your right to seek full coverage under your insurance policy or to bring a lawsuit, either against your insurer for failure to pay for damages that you believe should be covered or against another party that may be at fault for the damage to your home.
This is all too much. I have family in Oklahoma, so maybe I'll just relocate there and start over.
You can do that, but be aware, at the end of the day, you're still responsible for what you owe on the mortgage. If you abandon your property, the bank will foreclose on it and take the property. You won't owe any more on your mortgage unless you sign papers personally guaranteeing the payment of the mortgage. But the bank will own your house and the land, and your credit rating will take a hit. It will be harder for you to qualify for a new mortgage if you want to buy another house.
If I get the insurance proceeds for the damage to this house, can I just abandon the house and use the money to buy a new house someplace else?
Not if you still owe money on this house. Any insurance proceeds that you receive for the damage for this house, you have to use to rebuild and rehabilitate this house or to pay off the mortgage. The bank that holds the mortgage on your house will likely be listed as a payee on any check you receive from your insurance company. Your mortgager may require that the money be placed in escrow, a special account to be paid out to you only when you submit receipts for actual repair work done. Check your mortgage papers to find out how insurance payments are handled. If you do not intend to fix the house and plan to abandon the house and relocate elsewhere, and your lender forecloses on your mortgage, any insurance proceeds payable for damage to the house will belong to your mortgager. If you use the insurance proceeds to pay off your mortgage, you can keep any amounts left after paying off your mortgage. Insurance proceeds payable for your damaged personal possessions are yours and can be used to rebuild your life elsewhere if that's what you choose. Let's recap. Contact your insurer and notify them of your loss. Get a copy of your policy if you can't find your copy. Ask for an extension to file your claim if you need one. And let your insurer know how to get a hold of you. Keep a record of any conversations you have with your insurer, the insurance adjuster, contractors, or anyone else you talk to about your property. Take pictures of the damage so you have a record of it. If possible, collect receipts and other records to help you document the value of the things you lost. Make some repairs to prevent further damage and make sure you keep the receipts for those repairs. Keep your receipts for any alternative housing if you can't get disaster assistance for those expenses. You may be able to rely on insurance to cover those costs. If you have any other questions, contact a legal aid organization or any attorney for assistance.